Okay, this will be an interesting one. Well, actually it's a boring piece to do to start with, but I'm hoping to make it interesting if we can. So just flash the machine's badges. That's what we do, as toner heads do. We like to flash our badges prior to a demo. It's just the cultural thing that we do. Even though most of us don't work for the big manufacturers like Konica Minolta and shit, we're often on the outside. It's just custom to do that. It's good to know if people know just what machine you're actually using. And you can compare equipments, you can compare all sorts of shit with each other as toner heads. And also you can critique. It's important that we also criticise constructively the shortcomings also of the gear. We've got to basically talk about what the equipment's good for, what it's not good for, and when the machine is really badly designed, we've got to say it. We've got to talk about it. No use holding it in. You've got to talk about it. After all, this is the toner head. This is the age of the toner heads because, hey, we've got the internet now that we can show off our shit. You know, we can show off our shit on YouTube, on Facebook, Twitter, just to name a few. There's other ones, some of them less familiar than the ones I just mentioned, but basically, yeah, it's a good place to showcase your work and shit like that. And that's one way, and that's how I get to see other toner heads working on it, is through YouTube and shit. So it's really good to have this social media. However far from perfect that it is, it's still better than nothing. It's still a wonderful way of sharing stuff around. And the good thing is, apart from paying $10, I think it is, a month for YouTube Red, you can still get YouTube for free, even though you unfortunately have to put up with constant ads. I hate advertising, but basically I can't afford the premium YouTube service, YouTube Red, so I just have to put up with it. But this looks really interesting how that came out. So I'm going to make this, I'm going to enlarge this, cut it in half to make it into a mirror, an interesting piece. But we're going to have to just overlap the edges so we don't get big borders when we're enlarging. So we just have to cut a little bit off the edge. But basically, yeah, it's still good to have YouTube, even though it's often littered with ads which are often irrelevant to my kind of person. Sometimes I get ads that are designed for people who've got an IQ of between 90 and 110, which is considered the normal IQ, and my IQ was clocked at 137, so I do take a little bit offence to the shit that normal people typically consume, and having it plastered on my fucking seeing it on YouTube when it's just not my fucking thing. I don't have any sense of belonging in the normal class of things. I don't like to be associated with them because I'm not. I'm both disabled and maybe a genius, but I can't do a lot of things so. It's not just being smart, but not having the ability to, say, hold down a job in a normal environment, for example. But I'm very smart when it comes to playing with shit like this. Everyone's different, but sometimes I just get oh fuck, I've got an ugly border up there. I don't know why that happened, but that still looks nice. The colours just look swish. Even though the red's a bit wishy-washy, it still looks nice, funnily enough. So I'm just wondering why I've got that ugly border at the top. Wondering why. I'm just trying to think which way have I got this. Where's the top of the... I'm just wondering where the top of the image is. It's over here. So I don't think I I think I didn't enlarge it enough. It needs a bit more enlargement, so it cuts out that. So annoying when that happens. And you don't know why. So now we're just going to try. I think it's because the original might have had a large border, so I might have to make the X a little bit bigger. So we're going to make the X 147. Yeah, we're going to make it 147. Maybe we can make the red less wishy-washy, even though it still looks nice. We don't need the red now, so we can just turn that off. And we still got that switched on, so we still had that switched on. So obviously that's the positive mode. So I'm actually going to put the red back on. So we're just going to leave it on because it looks good. And that's why it's wishy-washy. So I'm thinking we're not going to worry that the red's a little bit wishy-washy. Yeah, we're just going to keep it much the same, except we're just going to enlarge it a bit. So just going to keep it like that. Okay, so that's it. That looks a lot better. We've got rid of the dreaded border at the top. That looks a lot nicer. And yeah, she looks really, it's a really nice and colourful piece. So now we're just going to prepare this now for I'm wondering where the centre of this is going to be. That looks like it's a good centrepiece. So we're just going to put it there like that. And we're just going to push off another. Okay, let's see how this looks. Okay, that's our second piece. All right. Oh yeah, folks, if you don't know what a toner head actually means, what that terminology is, a toner, for your information, is the powdered ink, the dry powdered ink that goes into your photocopier. And the colours and the black is the toner. And basically, it's like a car enthusiast is often referred to as a petrol head. You put petrol in your car. You all know what petrol is, or if you're American, you call it gas. Although I think in Australia they're starting to call it gas as well. But basically it's gas or petrol that goes into your car. So therefore, in Australia at least, people who love cars are often referred to as petrol heads. But when you're talking photocopiers, toner is the thing you call us, toner head. We're called toner heads, and it's the stuff you put in the photocopier, the ink, the dry powdered ink. So there you have it. You've learned a new word today, I'm sure. And that looks really nice, the way that sunshine is on her face. Really good. Looks really nice. This has taken a really boring image and turned it into something else. We just have to line it up nice and tidy. Try not to nudge the images side by side into, yeah. So that's our 3, and now we've just got one more to put in, and hopefully it'll look a real treat. So just pull that around a bit. Yeah, that looks really nice. We've taken a really boring piece and given it something else. I think now we can call it quits.